So today we are going to be discussing if Miami Heat should trade for Victor Oladipo, just like the pros and cons, my opinion on it, all that good stuff. If you all subscribe to my channel, it would help me out. I post daily sports videos. Let's get into it. So Victor Oladipo, he's on the Houston Rockets now. Um, yeah. So first off, I'm just going to go off with the pros of the Miami Heat trading for Victor Oladipo. Um, it would get them, a for sure secondary scorer almost. Um, Right now, Bam Adebayo is probably a primary scorer, I'd say. And Jimmy Butler likes to focus more on the playmaking defense aspect of his game more than scoring, say, in the regular season. Now, that's not saying, he's not going to go off for like 20 or 30 points every now and then. But I personally view him as more of a, defensive guy during the regular season. And then he just ups the level during the playoffs. So I feel like bringing in Victor Oladipo will give them the, secondary scorer that they're trying to develop Tyler Hero and to an extent Duncan Robinson into, if you get what I'm saying with that. Um, Another pro, Jimmy Butler, he's got a lot of miles on him. Played a year at junior college, then, went to Marquette, then went to Chicago. He's been used a ton. And when I say that, I mean, like, he's got a ton of miles, like, on his body, right? Now he's probably one of the fittest people in the NBA. I mean, he works out a ton. So good for him. But he has miles on his body, right? He's not going to be the young, youthful, energetic guy that he once was in, Chicago. He still is, energetic and all of that, but he doesn't have the same amount of athleticism that he used to have, even though he's, very close. Um, so those are two pros. In terms of the third pro, you likely wouldn't have to give up Tyler Hero for a trade. Um, if you're not going to give up Tyler for James Harden, then there's no way that you need to give up that dude for Victor Oladipo. Um, Even though Oladipo's a better fit, better teammate, all of that good stuff, there's no way you should give up that man Tyler for Victor Oladipo. In terms of the Rockets' point of view, this is mainly from Miami Heat's point of view, but the Rockets should be attempting to start a rebuild and getting all these veterans out. And if they can get Oladipo, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, if they can get those guys out, you're probably not going to be able to move John Wall out, of course. But if they can get all of those guys out, they will be looking like they have a decent start to the rebuild, especially if they can pick up picks for that, for those guys. Um, Now some cons for the Miami Heat train for Victor Oladipo. Um, they could sign him just outright in free agency. He becomes a free agent, unrestricted free agent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I am sure, actually. He is an unrestricted free agent this offseason. And while you could, trade for him, you just end up giving up assets, especially if you could sign him in free agency. Just look at Jimmy Butler, right? The Heat could have traded for Jimmy Butler, but they would have had to give up Bam Adebayo. And they opted not to do that. And I'd say they made the right move, especially considering that all they had to give up was Josh Richardson at the end. But while beforehand, if they wanted to pull off a trade with the Timberwolves, it would have looked like Richardson, Winslow, and probably Bam too. So they can just sign him outright in free agency, which might be the move. Um, the next, con, or not really even a con, but just a reason they shouldn't trade for him. Um, Bradley Beal. I feel like that's the ultimate target for any contending team that needs another push forward almost. Should be Bradley Beal at this point. Because I feel bad for the man. He's stuck in Washington. He has been his entire career. And he needs to get out there. Um, yeah. I'd say he's a bigger target than Victor Oladipo. He's consistently more healthy than Oladipo. Um, he can score a ton, a lot more than Oladipo. And Oladipo does provide more defense. Um, Beal's, pure scoring amount just makes up for that. Also, in terms of fit, I like Bradley Beal's fit better. Um, Tyler Hero is they're trying to turn him into Bradley Beal almost in terms of just scoring. It's not going so well, but if they can hide Tyler Hero on defense, they can hide Bradley Beal for sure. And they really don't need more defense, especially with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, two amazing defenders. Um, what they really need is a scoring punch, and I feel like Bradley Beal will supply that more so than Victor Oladipo. And while Oladipo is, a good scorer, Bradley Beal is one of the best scorers in the NBA right now. And I feel like that'd be very beneficial to the Miami Heat. So that's just a list of pros and cons. In my personal opinion, um, I think the Heat should not trade. I think they should inquire about Bradley Beal before they trade for Victor Oladipo. And if they do trade for him, only give up, say, Kendrick Nunn and Kelly Olynyk, or Kendrick Nunn and Myles Leonard. Um, yeah. So that's my opinion on it. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Have an amazing day, y'all, and I will see y'all around.